also turn off the... Oh no, that doesn't matter because that's through there, that's fine. No, why did you go away? No, I don't want you to do that. Oh. Stationeers stream. Stationeers. So dear, keep them close. Stationeers. Hey guys, I'm Phoenix here. Give me a moment. That needs to go off. Okay, right. That needs to go up. Okay, hello everyone. I'm Iron Phoenix and welcome to Stationeers, a game that I haven't played for a very long time until I was a bit ill last week. And I started a new world on this because you go on the forums and you see people storming out and saying, has this game improved? Have they fixed the control scheme and all that sort of nonsense? And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back to it. And lo and behold, they've added a load of new things. So first of all, no, they haven't done anything about the control scheme. It's still as awesome as it was. I like it. I like the idea that you just kind of do that and do that. It's simple, it's easy. It's far better than just having a hotbar system, because I think in games like this, where part of the fun of it is having the conscious thought of, right, I need these things to take with me. And in a strange way, it actually sorts out the problem that I have an awful lot in Minecraft, where I just end up with so much junk in my inventory. I can't think like that, so I don't. It's quite a good way of sort of cleaning up inventories and just not having tons of stuff around with you. I mean, you've got a fair amount of space in your various backpacks and like. So yeah, that's not really a thing that I care about. However, it's night at the moment. Surprisingly, I need to go mining for more bits and pieces. I need more coal. Though, I need more gold for more solar panels to get this up and running properly. I'll just quickly put in a quick sort of tracking system, so I've now got power during the day but not during the night, and that's the other thing that I need to do. Okay, so I need to get a fabricator up and running. I've got most of it going. I just need the controller card, which I need gold for, and I need all the cabling to do it. But getting this up and running will be a boon, because the fabricator can't make everything, but it can make most things, and that's kind of what I need right now. So I probably should also drop the tracking beacon. That'll do. How do I turn it on? There we go. Because then I can... Oh God, where is it? In here, I've got this. Let me just do a little bit of juggling. Tracker. And then that goes into here. So just do that to close that off. And re-grab my tool. And then I can turn this on with 0. And it doesn't work. Let me just turn this off and on again. Sometimes you have to make sure that okay. Well, if that works, yeah, that's fine. So now I can go off and I can see where my base is without having to use jetpack fuel, which is what I've been doing in the past. So yeah, so I'm going to go for a wander. I'm going to try and find some gold, then return back to base, make the last bits and pieces that I need to make that work, and then we should all be good. Now, okay, so what have they added in the game? They've added a whole bunch of chips, which kind of makes me want to start doing... I'm going to need more iron anyway, so I've just seen some iron, so I'll drill this up. it makes me want to make some sort of circuits again, some interesting stuff. I quite like the idea of maybe doing a vending machine style of thing. I also really need to do the what's it called? The fire suppression system. That in theory should work fine. It's just a case of me having the time and patience to wire it all up. Where is this gold? There should be some around. So yeah, there's quite a lot of just stuff that's been slowly added to the game, and quite a lot you can just do with the game. I've also got a theory, which again, it's one of those things where, based on the systems of the game, it should work, but I'm not sure if it will work. Is using a okay, so what you do in theory is you put water into coal. You put water into some kind of receptacle, and you heat the water and put it into pipes. Now, in theory, if you were to put that into a pressurized room, that would heat the air around it and make it rise, and then you can put a turbine in top, and that will spin and produce power, in theory. How likely that is to actually work, chances are it's going to end up in a very large fire, but I'm willing to give that a go. For the funds, because quite a lot of this game is, I wonder what happens when you do that, and then you're running down a corridor wishing that you'd actually built the fire suppression system. So yeah, maybe the fire suppression system is the next thing that I work on after getting thingies done. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of it. It's been a long couple of weeks. Yeah, so this is going to now be a video of me wandering around trying to find gold and copper. Yeah, I need copper for cabling. So yeah, gold and copper. It's going to be thrilling. It'll be better when the sun comes up and I can actually see, because currently it's my viewing is a little limited. So yeah, some things have happened this week. Not to me, in general. Oh, gold. So I saw today that if you want to get Minecraft story mode, do so soon, very very soon. As part of the Telltale shutdown, an awful lot of games are entering an unlisted state. So I bought Sam & Max before the last parts of the Sam & Max things, before that all got shut down. Wallace & Gromit is already gone. That went some time ago. So yeah, that's a thing. Basically, yeah, as part of the shutdown, an awful lot of their games are becoming delisted. Probably all of them will be delisted, unless at some point somebody buys up the licenses and sorts out all the legal stuff to actually get these things re-released. If you own them on Steam, it should just be a case of they've been delisted, though from the sounds of it, the downloads for Minecraft Story Mode may go away, which might be quite a bad thing. The Amazon version is apparently not affected by this. Maybe Amazon have some kind of additional deal that allows them to retain the ability to sell the game or something. I don't know the details behind that, but that's a thing that's happened today. So that's not great. Sort of all the fallout of Telltale. And the other thing, not so great thing that happened, Starbreeze are letting go 60 staff. That's a quarter of their staff. They are not doing well. From the sounds of it, they've got enough financials to last for maybe a year, maybe two, if they can cut enough staff. It's a real shame because Starbreeze have done some excellent games in the past, but they got stuck in a rut. They maybe invested a little bit too much in the Walking Dead game they released, and it's all just sort of flopped. And yeah, they're not doing too well at the moment. I hope they can get, they're a talent. It's a very talented studio, and I hope that they can dig their way out of it. It's a real, it's one of those sort of. It's a horrible time for the games industry at the moment because we've got an awful lot of studios sort of vanishing. Telltale is just one of a number of them that have just sort of gone, and yeah, it is a real shame. An awful lot of talent just sort of abandoned. And hopefully they'll be picked up by other people and survive basically, but we'll see. And of course E3 is coming up, so I have a bit of there's a bit of a thing with E3 and Gamescom and all that, because when those happen, all the sort of the content creators go there, and while that's not it's not a bad thing, all in all, it just means that the content sort of dries up a little. I need to turn it on to get that out. Yes, right. And sometimes it's not even for anything that is sort of worth seeing, I guess. There's an awful lot of just stuff at E3 these days, and you just think, why? Why show that? The Fortnite night are going to be at E3. What do? We see Fortnite all the time. It's a constant thing in our lives. Whereas there are some games that I saw, like something like Abound or Ground or something. I can't remember. It was like a survival thing. I'm a big fan of my survival games, so it's obvious that I'm going to be interested in something like that. Right, manufacturing shit. Right, that's in. And now what we need is all the cables in the world. You have to be careful doing this because there are people out there who have set off a run of cables and they've gone off to do something like make a cup of tea, and they've come back to find that their house is full of cables, which is irritating when that happens. Right, so we've got some cables there as well. I do need to pull up the floor. You see this sort of thing happens. I do need to pull up the floor a bit, and but I should be able to just bring it off here. I love this game. I really do. Right, I need to wire data and power into here. So I'm going to bring it off here. Four-way junction, yep. Corner, and straight, corner, straight, and cable junction, and straight, straight. That can probably stop now. I think I've probably got enough. No, stop, please stop. Thank you. Pick up all this cable. I'm going to need it for something, it's not really a waste of materials because it's something that I'm going to keep needing for various things, no doubt. So let's just wire that in. Excellent. And I can then put that into there and that into there. put the floor back down again. But so this can be turned on, and this can be turned on. And what this allows us to do is basically fabricate specific levels of stuff. So you don't just put it on forever. You can actually specify how many of a thing you make. So, for example, I really want a turbine. Oh God, what have they? I don't know what they've called it. There are some things that only the fabricator can make, and I believe the turbine is one of them. But it's a case of just finding the thing. Battery chargers beacon. Yeah, things like the engines are used for motherships. We've got some walls. There's some really nice walls in this game. There's an awful lot of really nice just systems in this game. Oh, come on. Can't be this far down, surely. Alright, where on earth is the turbine? We've got a solid generator, sleeper. What on earth is a sleeper? Bear with me just a moment, I need to check the wiki. Okay, it's called the turbine generator. And I make it in... Doesn't actually say, but it should be kit turbine generator. Just quickly gonna switch my battery out because it's moaning at me. Right, back in here. It should be kit turbine generator, and it's not being called something like generated turbine, is it? No? No. The wiki doesn't say where you get it from, and then I've got a whole bunch of the electronics. Oh. Yeah, it's in here. Okay, so we would need solder. Right, so that will need a blast furnace. Okay. Surely we can make the furnace in here. Yeah. We can hit that. Right, we need some copper for that. Do we have any copper in here? Wait a minute. I had copper in this thing. No. Right. Got to go and get some copper. After putting the floor back because it's irritating me. Oh, wait. No, there's something stuck under the floor. Piece of floor. Right. Let's put this in properly. There we go. Right. Now, let's go and get some copper. So, if you're interested in this, I will say, game is available on Steam. It's what you get if Space Engineers was a good game. No, I mean, if Space Engineers was a little bit more systems orientated. So, obviously, early access, there's going to be bugs. Yeah, it's more systems orientated, and it's more designed for a little bit more of a niche player base. You know, you do have to. It's one of those games where you do want to spend a little bit of time just getting used to the controls, but once you're over that hurdle, if you like, then there's all kinds of new hurdles to get over, like what happens if you run out of oxygen? Well, you die. But what happens if you overpressurize a tank? Because it's not just going to auto cut out, the tank's going to blow. And if it blows, well, you may have some large holes in your suit and your head. So, you know, things, you know, there's an awful lot of things to consider. My first time, for example, trying to set up a blast furnace properly. Resulted in me running down a corridor with a fireball behind me as everything just sort of exploded. The fire burnt for quite some time before the fire ate its way through the side of the chamber, the blast chamber. And thus the vacuum then put it out. But back then I didn't have sort of any sort of fire prevention methods. The accident was a result of a burst pipe, basically. I was mixing. I set up a gas mixer system to feed my blast furnace, and I was cooking volatiles and oxides in the room. The idea being that it would be kept. The room was kept in a vacuum. The air vents would suck the air out, and then it would put it through various processing units into tanks and the like. It didn't go to plan, and a pipe blew just at the time where the room is in a lovely sort of a perfect fuel air mix, and the whole lot went. And I laughed so much when it did happen, because, and here's the thing, there are games out there that are deliberately hard, and they're just designed to be irritating. They're designed to get a rise out of you. They're designed to make you rage quit. There are also games out there that are not designed to be hard, but they are hard because the bugs just make everything go horribly wrong. Space Engineers would be a good example of that. So many times I got very angry with the game, not because of the game's design, but because the game just wouldn't do what it should allow me to do. So earlier on in this video I sort of talked about some things that I wanted to do with the game, because in theory it should work, and yeah, in theory this stuff should actually work in the game, with a little bit of, you know, tweaking and modification. You know, the systems are built in such a way that these things should actually be possible. With Space Engineers, there are things in the game that should be possible, but the game just says, no, you're not allowed to do that. I won't do that. And that's frustrating. And so when you die in Space Engineers, half the time it's not actually your fault, and you get quite annoyed with it. In Stationeers, I have died several times. I once blew myself out of an airlock when the airlock tank overpressurized, because I was stupid and didn't have any kind of cut-off or anything like that. And I laughed, because it was funny. It's one of these games. This is the sort of game that it will kill you, but 99.9% of the time it's going to be your own fault because you didn't think about making sure you had the backup, or the important thing that you needed to make sure that the fail safes. Basically, you didn't put the fail safes in place, and so the game has killed you. And as a result, it's funny. It's funny when it happens because you just think, oh God, I really have just done that. The time that I accidentally pressurised a base with hydrogen. It's a funny thing. And yeah, I just sort of enjoyed myself. Right, I'm sort of running out of space, and I need space. I can put some things in my backpack on. Just by my hand. I don't need. I can put that into there. I can put that into there, and I can collect that. Right. Yeah. No, it's it is just a funny game, and if I think in the future, especially once we get sort of modding in, and we maybe have a round system, so you can build a map. You can set up a game mode for it. So maybe you can have people do a heist. They get a specific sort of set of tools to sort of break into a vault, or maybe they're trying to escape from the station. You stick a round system in. You put in a basic sort of roll system, and maybe have in a sort of a system where you can basically say that you are the imposter, you are the saboteur. I'm going to have to leave that one there, I think. You are the saboteur, or whatever. And then you can just put that up onto a server. You can just have it as a round system, so each round maybe lasts for a couple of hours, 20 minutes, couple of hours, whatever. And yeah, and so people can just sort of play some rounds of Stationeers in a sort of a more adventure-like setting. I think that would work quite well, just as it would work quite well to have a more standard Minecraft-esque survival mode where you just build a base on a planet. And I think that would work just as well, because obviously people like to build things, they like to show things off, and so you have larger sort of communities on planets working together, working apart, doesn't really matter. There are sort of PvP elements that you can have in the game, and likewise you can set traps for people. It's the game is very the game is more like tools. It is tools for you to make the game that you want to make. And in some ways Space Engineers is like that as well, but I think this game does it better, just because the nature of the game is different. Right, okay, I've run out of power. Right, okay, do what I always do at this point, which is empty my mining belt. Out of anything that I can empty out. Because I'm going to need things like... Oh, wait, I've got the coal. I mean, I'm going to need the coal for steel at some point, but I can do that. Oh, God, I've just blown a... Oh, okay. That shouldn't have happened, but it did. I've probably put too much... Okay, I've got too many things on these lines now. Okay, that's fine, we can fix that. I can ease the pressure on the line by turning off the stuff that I'm not using at the moment, and that should be fine then. So obviously, you turn off the fabricator, you turn off that, and then it shouldn't pulse quite so much. I do that now. I need to just fix that problem. Like so. Let's just see how long I've been going on for about half hour. did say it was going to be a short one. Right. Hopefully that will now fix the problem. And we'll have power again, in theory. Yes. Should note that if that happened and you were in a pressurised environment of, say, I don't know, hydrogen, the place would go up. There is, provisions in this game for having systems that are timers. Essentially, they're things that can make something go boom very easily. Right, okay, so I need my furnace, which I can just make in here, over here. Arc furnace is that thing, I think. Kit furnace, there we go. So I just need the copper, which is in here. So yeah, I should really talk about the point of doing this. So yeah, I'll probably be streaming some more Stationeers and probably some other games as well. Don't know how often, it'll just be a case of whenever I feel like doing something. Gonna be try and go back to doing some weekend streams. But I thought today that what I should really do was reopen the lab. Which was something that I did in Stationeers. I did a few videos quite some time ago, actually, of some circuits, and I really should start doing that again. Possibly even on the moon, maybe on a place like Europa as well. Just kind of showcasing some interesting circuits of just useful stuff, like door locks or fire suppression systems. I really do want to do that fire suppression system as somebody who has been burnt in the past, literally, by the lack of a fire suppression system, when I could have at least done with some automatic doors that can close if the temperature goes too high. Because you can tell when there's a fire because suddenly the temperature just skyrockets like 2,000 degrees. It's quite cool in here at the moment. This would also be quite a good way of heating up the air in a sort of a turbine tower. You can see where all the particles are going. They're trying to find ways out, and quite a lot of stuff coming in here. But they're also trying to equalise. So yeah, I do like this visual. It's very easy to see when you've got a real problem. If I was to close these doors, then the heat would kind of pass through the doors that were open to heat up these sorts of spaces, and then it would sort of normalise down. Right. No, furnace. Right, so that is now making me a blast furnace. This is going to be fun to set up, but I'm going to set this up off camera, I think. Just because there's quite a lot of bits and pieces. But I think there's been a nice reintroduction into what Stationeers is. It's a survival game, primarily. There is a food system in the game as well, but I play with it turned off because early access, it's not particularly well balanced yet. There's power system. There's some kind of pressurization and oxygen system. Obviously, the benefit to having this area heated and pressurized would be that I don't use so much power, having to run my suit with the air conditioning on and all that sort of thing. It's just sort of more efficient to do it that way. So the game will reward you for getting systems set up to make your life easier. But yeah, so I'm going to go now. I'm going to go and play around with the blast furnace for a bit and probably end up playing Minecraft again. But yeah, this has been a little bit of an introduction to some things that I want to do in the future. We'll kind of see what happens there. But anyway, with that, I will say thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time.